Hey! Making Poffins!
Guys, here's a question that's actually a lot harder to answer than it may seem at first. What the heck is a Poffin?
So we got berries galore. I bought this for this video. You know what it came with? It's $40 for a berry. The delay, man.
Oh man! These are so much better than Poffins! Wanna know where I got them? Today's video is brought to you by Bokksu, a snack subscription that brings you loads of Japanese treats delivered to your door with a new theme every time. This month's theme is Hokkaido Holiday. How absolutely perfect. That's where Sinnoh's based on. That's where they make Poffins! They even give you multiples so that you can share them with friends. It's a little sandwich cookie. A melon-flavored sandwich cookie. Like honeydew or cantaloupe. Bokksu makes an excellent gift thanks to the novelty alone, but they also come with a culture guide that tells you exactly what everything is, where it's from, who makes it, and what they are all about. Crunch chocolate corn. What I've learned here is that Hokkaido grows a lot of corn because a lot of these snacks are corn. It's like if a Rice Krispie treat were made of corn instead of rice. And had chocolate in it instead of marshmallow. Which makes it an even better gift for your Japan-loving friends. Plus, not only would you be gifting them Bokksu, but you would also be gifting them the chance to win free tickets to Japan because Bokksu is having a giveaway. They will be picking one lucky winner to win a free set of tickets, and anyone who is subscribed before December 31st is automatically entered. Ah! Ah! I was not expecting the spice. Oh! Wasabi Yama Wasabi Rice Cracker. If you like wasabi, I don't. There is a link down below for all the giveaway details, and also where you can sign up for Bokksu today. And also use the coupon code Lockstin10 to get 10% off of your order. And the link is down below. Like, yeah, Poffins are little treats you make and feed to Pokemon in Gen 4. But like, what are they?
So, berries.
Just looking at their art, they look like little breads, right? I mean, there's also the name. It's a combination of Pokemon and Muffin, in every language, in fact. Though, that's extremely smooth for a muffin. Maybe muffin is just a word they used because it sounds nice. They remind me of pan a bit more specifically, little Japanese breads that are often filled with things. Well, let's see what the cooking side of YouTube has to say. Ah, Feast of Fiction, making Pokemon Poffins, and... well, their end result looks pretty good and accurate. The only problem is...
that's not how you make Poffins!
They are making a dough and then baking it. They are making breads. Essentially onpan, little Japanese breads filled with traditionally bean paste, though you can use fruit, often blueberries. And like, yeah, they look the part, they got the little sprinklings in the middle. But, in the game, and in the anime, that's not what we see at all. They are stirring a soup! Or like a fondue in a pot on a stovetop. Poffins look like empanadas.
You do not stir empanadas!
In the anime, they pour it out like liquid and into a mold, and then BAM! You get a Poffin.
How is this bread?
And they are so bright, they're like macarons.
But you also don't stir liquefied macarons!
Maybe it's just the macaron filling. I mean, that's just berries.
Josh told me to stop eating berries. And then I told him, oh wait, let's get footage of me eating berries. Because I wanted to eat berries.
What makes it even stranger is that the ingredients for Poffins are berries, like just berries. I found it. The NPC lady even says, here, you may cook berries and turn them into Poffins. You didn't like me yelling. And so you choose different berries. Different berries have different flavors and different attributes, obviously.
We did a whole video about Pokemon berries. Link there. We reviewed every single one and talked about their real-world inspirations because they're all based on a real-world thing. Even the one that I said isn't based on a real-world thing is actually. I was wrong back then. We now know the real answer. I'm not going to tell you here, though, because it's irrelevant. I just realized I don't have an accent right now. I always put on an accent when I'm a chef, so Hey, this is the accent for the chef today.
So you throw the berry into this stuff. Oh, okay, so there is more to it than just berries here. There's also whatever this liquid is. But I can tell you one thing. That liquid is not dough. Dough is not soup. So you stir and you stir and you stir and stir and stir, but not too fast, or you'll spill. Because it's liquid, but not too slow, or it'll burn. Like chocolate, or a pot of tapioca pudding, or just fruit in a pot of water, I guess. But then it starts turning a golden brown, with little colored spots, likely the berry bits. And judging by those spots staying in the same place, at this stage, I think it's no longer a liquid. It has somewhat solidified. It's an undercooked Poffin, and then it is a Poffin. This process does differ in the anime, as I stated, though. In the anime, Ash and friends take a Poffin cooking class, and the teacher says, "First, you put your berries in a pot of cold water." And what might those berries be? What is it you are feeding your poor Roserade? And then you turn the heat up all the way while stirring non-stop. It's this constant stirring that gives Poffins their flavor, you see. If you keep it on the heat too long, it will burn. But if you don't keep it on the heat long enough, it won't cook down.
So this has got to cook for like a long time, I think. We're kind of going... Feels like jam.
Cook down here is probably referring to reducing the liquid. In cooking, reduction is the process of thickening and intensifying the flavor of a liquid mixture such as a soup, sauce, wine, or juice by simmering or boiling it. The excess liquid evaporates off, leaving only the flavor bits in the pot. This makes a lot of sense with berries and water. That's a part of how you make jams and jellies after all. So are Poffins a sort of solid jelly? Perhaps. Let's get back to the show. After they are done, they pour the liquid, which is still very much liquid, into these little molds, and then they cool and they're done. No baking in the tin? Okay. Oh no, they hate it. So, alright, this tells us that the mold is just for cooling the liquid down until it becomes a solid. Maybe a semi-solid, but solid-ish at least. It also tells us that the only ingredients here are water and fruit, which you then reduce. That's how you make a fruit reduction, or like basic jam, but without the pectin. So it will never be jam consistency. You'll get like fruit sauce. That's not a Poffin. The Poffins make little round shapes and don't leave a mess of fruit as they roll around. They're not sticky, so maybe they simplified the recipe in the anime for the sake of it being a kid's anime. Kids don't need to know what's already in the water for context, they are just making a fictional food. So what if the thing that makes this Poffin water special is the secret invisible ingredient? Gelatin. Or agar-agar, which is basically the same but vegetarian. This is actually all we really need to get a Japanese water cake, which you can add berries or food coloring to, and similarly, you can simmer in a pot until it's reduced enough, and then pour it into a mold, and then when it cools, boom, round water cakes.
Poffin. I inhaled too much. But you know, it's not bad. You know how the art, Poffin art, it's got sesame seeds on it? It's not a good addition.
But they are more jello consistency, not bread-like or solid at all. So, you know what's a little more solid? Fruit snacks. Which you can also make with water, berries, and gelatin, that you then reduce in a pot and that you have to stir constantly, and then they come out a very solid color, and then you pour them into a mold to cool, and then they're done.
Little chocolates. Yeah, good color, right consistency. Our mold is gem-shaped because of the underground, where you mine gems. That's very good.
But they still aren't bready and golden brown. But maybe the idea that Poffins are bread is inherently wrong. Nothing about their in-game sprites or the way they look in the anime implies bread whatsoever. The only thing that makes it look like bread is the art from the strategy guide. And then much later, Pokemon Go. Are these later bits of art, along with the name, confusing us? Maybe. Bread may not have been the original intent at all, as that makes zero sense with the way the anime presents Poffins to us. But let's look at the games one more time. To make a Poffin in the game, you have to go to the Poffin house and use a special Poffin pot. And you put berries in it. So the only ingredient we know for sure is the berry. Whatever berry it may be. In the pot, there's already some yellowish white, thick liquid that turns golden brown and solidifies as you cook it. There's no mold involved in the game. You don't get a bunch of Poffins like in the anime, you get one. So maybe the game and anime Poffins are completely different things, even though the anime Poffins look just like the in-game sprites for Poffins, but not the Poffin while it's cooking. Maybe it's like a stovetop cake. You make a liquid batter, and it's the right color. You can throw berries or fruit in it, and then you put it in a pan or a pot, and... But you specifically don't stir those. You'll ruin it if you stir it, so it's not that. Well, the only other thing I can think of with the in-game Poffins, as they are shown cooking in the minigame, would be like a big takoyaki, but with fruit. Takoyaki batter is very thin and watery and the right color. You put it in a round mold similar to what you see in the anime, or you could also put it in a small pot that you cook it in, and then you add in your fillings, in our case berries, and then you stir to rotate it. As it stirs, it's cooking, and you do that to prevent it from burning. And they do wind up different colors depending on what you put in them. And you do also sprinkle things on takoyaki, no matter the flavor, like the sesame seed things that we see on the Poffin art. Well, also in my research for this video, I learned that stir and pour bread is a thing. It just looks like bread though. You still bake it, just without stirring it. The stir in the name refers to the dough. You stir instead of knead it. It was just another tangent to another dead end. Maybe the idea with the breadier looking Poffins is that we're just making the filling? And it is just a jelly-filled anpan? After you finish making the filling that looks like the anime stuff, you put it in bread, as in the place that you make it in, puts it in bread for you, and then gives you the final product? I don't think there's a straight answer to be found here at all. I feel like this is just all hand-wavy game mechanics. And when the anime had to do an episode about it, they couldn't figure out what the heck a Poffin was either, so they got even more hand-wavy with it. You see, the end result is due to a property of these fictional, magical Pokemon berries. You reduce them, and then they become solid and bready. They're bun things, because these berries aren't real, and we can make them do whatever we want. How unfortunate.
All you feed me is Poffins!
Did you eat another berry?